Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you know how we do it over here. Yes, we do our shout outs first. So you know what's going to happen next. We are going to run that beautiful beam footage and I'll talk to you on the other side. All right, y'all. I want to give a quick shout out to my girl, Jennifer Clark. She has been with me just about since the beginning, and she never fails. She never misses coming through and supporting. And I appreciate her so very much. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Baby Sis Dolls came through. She did. I have been missing Baby Sis Doll. She must have been busy, but I'm telling you, I'm so happy to have her back in the comments, and she came through to support as she always does. And I am so grateful and so thankful that she is a part of this community. So thank you, Baby Sis Doll. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming back and being in those comments. Yeah, I have missed you. Also, Lynn McLeod came through. Yes, Lynn has been with me for a minute. Now, she is quiet, but she is always supporting. She is that girl, and I am so grateful and so thankful that she is a part of this community and a part of this tribe. So thank you, Lynn. And Elegant Paws came through. Yes, Elegant Paws. She is just everything. She is so funny. And she will go in on all of those derangers. Don't get it twisted. She is not shy when it comes to her opinion. Yes, and I love that about her. So thank you, Elegant Paws. Thank you for coming through, and thank you for being a part of this tribe. And my girl Angela May came through. Yes, she did. Angela is always coming through because she's always supporting. She is always 10 toes down when it comes to the Royal Read. She don't play about the Royal Read now. And I love it. So thank you, Angela. Thank you for coming through. But most of all, thank you for being a part of this community. And the coolest came through. Yes, she showed up. Cool cat Harlem. Yes, the coolest showed up. Dropped some knowledge and absolutely let everybody know that she was here. And I am so glad and so thankful for Kat. She is so funny. She's so smart. And she is the coolest. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, that is exactly where I have been, and they are smoking hot. Why? Because I know all of you have heard the news that our favorite couple, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, formally granted an audience for King Charles III and his side piece. And I'm phrasing it that way because I'm messy and I'm petty. And all those flying monkeys, those toadies, those minions over there are saying that King Charles III has granted an audience to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Yes, they are being very formal over there. Just like we don't know what the real deal is. And like I said, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the real deal. And we're going to talk about what I think the next move is going to be when it comes to this royal family reunion. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about how Willie and Kitty, they were out cosplaying Harry and Meghan again. I mean, with no shame. It is no shame when it comes to Copperton Palace. They will copy anything and everything that Harry and Meghan does. If Harry and Meghan jumped off a cliff, they would jump off right behind them. And we're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about Harry's last engagements for this visit to the UK. And let me tell you, Harry knocked it out of the park. He did. Nobody does the quote unquote job better than Harry. Harry knows how to do the job. That's the reason why they hate him so much, because Harry is so lovable and relatable and funny and just Harry. He is just quintessential Harry. And that is saying that he is just himself. And that right there is terrific, fantastic. Harry is all of those adjectives. And we're going to talk about that as well. And a few other things sprinkled in there. Y'all know me, I'm always sprinkling some other things in there, and y'all need to lock in and understand. I'm not going to keep you long, but I will keep you entertained. And we're going to start with this.
Let's bring you some other breaking news now. It's understood the King and Queen have hosted the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet at Highgrove House today. Before today, the Duke of Sussex had only seen his father once in the last 2.5 years. The King and Queen hosted them at Highgrove in Gloucestershire. It had been unclear if Meghan and the children would join Harry on his visit to the UK.
And the squatty that posted this breaking news from Sky News said, Meghan the Graceful Duchess has no place for grudges and setting a good example for Archie and Lily. Harry loves that old man and his country and wants his children to see where he's from. I trust their process. I hope the royal family don't start leaking as usual. Now, what do y'all think about this particular squatty's opinion? They're saying that it's no places for grudges. Meghan is being very graceful, and she's setting a good example for Archie and Lily. And Harry loves the old man, his country, and wants his children to have some kind of connection to where he comes from. Now, I think this squatty really makes some good points. Now, does Harry love the turd? I think he does. But Harry also understands that Charles is the king of the United Kingdom, and he can make his life very difficult if he chooses to. And because Harry wants to make things easier, I think he decided to comply. And also think about this. You have to look at the big picture. Now, I have saw a lot of squatties who are mad with Harry, mad with Meghan, and even mad with the babies. Yes, they are hot because they feel that Charles has mistreated them, disrespected them, disregarded them time after time after time, and Harry and Meghan should have shown him no grace. But I disagree with that. I don't think it's grace at all. I really think that Harry and Meghan are playing chess and not checkers. Let's think about this for a minute. Harry and Meghan know who Charles is. They know way more than we know. Harry has gotten all of the discovery material from all those court cases. He is well informed. And because of that, he chose to make this move right here. And I agree with this move. Now, you can come at me in the comments, but I'm going to tell you why I agree with this move. It's because, can you imagine what kind of shitstorm would have formed over Buckingham Palace, and they would for eternity rain that shit down on Harry and Meghan. They would have used that to beat them over and over and over again. So Harry and Meghan took that weapon away from them. They did, because Charles does not want to see those children. Charles do not care anything for Harry nor Meghan. This is all about PR. He knew and was full aware of how he looked in the press, not seeing his grandchildren. He knew that he looked like a trash individual. He looked like a trash father, a trash grandfather, and a trash king. He was getting hammered right, left, and in between, especially here in America. And he could not have that. All of this was thrown together. I don't believe any of this was planned. He was forced into it. And if Harry and Meghan had turned him down, the burden would have shifted from him to them. So Harry and Meghan did the right thing, in my opinion, to throw him off his game, to keep him from having the power, because Harry and Meghan had the power. And if they hadn't brought the children to meet him, it would have been a power shift. He would have had the power then. He would have had the power of making them the bad guys, the villains. And he would then proceed, him and those courtiers, to rain a shitstorm down on Harry and Meghan like you have never seen. Camilla would have absolutely set up court over there on Fleet Street. They would have had article after article after article, panel discussion after panel discussion after panel discussion, how Harry is keeping those babies away from cancer stricken Charles. Yes, the poor king. That is what he wanted. That is the reason why he's feigning cancer, to get sympathy. This would be just another way for him to get sympathy. That's what he wants, so he can gain popularity with the people. He wants to be the victim, and Harry and Meghan denied him of that. And I hope squatties can see that. I see that. If you disagree with me, put it in the comments and give me your reason why. But I really feel that this is a master class in playing chess and not checkers. I think I mentioned in past podcasts that I was a therapist in my past life. Yes, I was a professional. And in my professional opinion, Charles was trying to create what we call a straw man, meaning someone to blame, someone you can use to avoid accountability, someone you can use to be the villain in your story. It was their goal to make Harry and Meghan their straw man. And Harry and Meghan countered and did not allow them to put them in that box. Because if they ever was put in that box, that was going to be where they stayed. He was always going to continue to play that card as the poor cancer stricken grandfather who is being denied a relationship with his grandchildren. He never would have circled back to Harry and Meghan to ask if he could see the grandchildren or try to establish a relationship with the grandchildren, because that wasn't the goal. He didn't want to have a relationship with those grandchildren. He just knows it looks bad if he doesn't. So he wanted to make Harry and Meghan, like I said, the straw man, where he could avoid accountability and he would have someone to blame and become the victim. So, like I said, y'all tell me what y'all think, but that is my opinion. And look, like, my opinion is not a lone opinion, because look at Harry and Meghan Loves Always. They think Harry and Meghan are playing chess as well and says they thought they could bring us down. I think not. I think we'll call it checkmate. Yes, H, I think you're right, my love. And if you disagree with me and Harry and Meghan loves always, let me know in the comments. I might be wrong, but this is my opinion. And this squatty said, breaking. After 4 years, a man finally found time to meet his grandchildren. But don't worry, it has absolutely nothing to do with the massive backlash he got for claiming he had no room for his son in his multiple palaces because he missed the deadline. Yes, I mean, press here over in America was all up in Charles's arse about that. They was not buying it for a second. And I love it. I love it. I love when American press just calls out the bullshites. Now, I saw that Roy Nicka, she was over there on CBS doing a report, and she was talking to Gayle King, the host. And Gayle King proceeded to get all up in Roy Nicka's arse about this and said if he wanted to see his grandchildren, he's the king of the United Kingdom. He could see his grandchildren. And that made Roy Nicka, I'm telling you, all those flyaways on her head started to stand to attention. She was nervous, yes, because she didn't really have an answer for that. She said, well, you know, the king, his diary is booked 6 months in advance. He's a very busy man. And basically, Gail called bullshit on that. And I call bullshit on it as well. Because let's look back at the engagements that Charles did while Harry was in London. He was riding around in a tank. He was over there at the London Zoo examining a penguin to see if the penguin was healthy or not with a stethoscope. And she is trying to convince us that this is more important than seeing your grandchildren. That is the reason why nobody was buying it. I mean, it wasn't like he was a brain surgeon and he had very serious operations to save people's lives back to back to back. No, he was over there listening to a penguin's heart at the zoo. He is the king of the United Kingdom. He can, if he wants to see his grandchildren, he'll make time to see his grandchildren. He doesn't want to see them. Basically, that's what Gail was saying. And Roy Nicka was up there, just stuttering. She didn't have nothing to say. She's a toady, and she had to toe the line. And when she was called out, she had no answer for Gail why this man could not see his grandchildren. And all of a sudden, he had time to see his grandchildren after all the backlash, after everybody was saying what a trash father and a trash grandfather he was. And I'll add to that and say a trash king. And this squatty posted an article from the Telegraph that said King reunite with Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. And this squatty proceeded to put shamed into seeing his grandchildren. Yes, that's what the breaking news is. Not that he reunited, but he was shamed into seeing his grandchildren. And don't get it twisted. That's exactly what happened. And the squatty that posted this said, now that King Charles has, for the first time ever, since Prince Harry and Meghan left the UK on 2020, officially confirmed meeting Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, let's see if his leaky palace will indeed keep the meeting private. Not that there'd be much to say. I bet he just shook the children's hands, patted them on their backs, asked them about the weather, and then sent them to the play area. It's a shame he quite literally had to be shamed into meeting them. Yes, exactly. This Squatty said, given the news of the visit of the Sussex family to Highgrove, I have one question. How did Meghan manage to let her precious babies eat raw family food? I would be terrified of the food tampering and would be watching Archie and Lily like a hawk for any unexplained illnesses. Pray for their safety. Now, I am on board with this squatty right here. Y'all know me. I'm from the South, and our mothers teach us early. I'm telling you, when we are about as knee high to a hopper grass, as they say down here, that you don't eat at everybody's house. And when people have been vicious to you and then they switch up, you need to be leery of anything coming from them. So, yeah, I hope Meghan and Harry did not eat or drink anything that witch was passing out. Yes, because we all know witches love to give little children apples. And we all know that horse is a witch. And this squatty is posting about an article that was in Femanagra, and I am going to read some excerpts from it in a few minutes. But they say this: whenever Harry, Meghan, and the children appear close to the Spencer side of the family, the Windsor machine suddenly moves. It reads like a palace trying to move in front of the Spencers' optics before Diana's family become the warmer, more visible side. And it tagged Femanagra and said 100%. What do y'all think about this? Do you agree with this? That it's because Harry seems to be getting closer to the Spencer side of his family and the Windsors are in their feels about it? I don't know if I buy that 100%, but I'm going to read some excerpts from this Femanagra article and then you tell me what you think in the comments. And this is the Femanagra article I was speaking of. And the title of the article is The Sussex Meet Charles at Highgrove, and the palace made sure everyone knew about it. Yes, and y'all know that they said that that was one of the stipulations that Charles insisted upon, and that was to keep everything private. I'm willing to bet that Harry, Meghan, and those babies' car hadn't came to a complete stop before this meeting was leaked by Charles's office. So they can miss me with this bullshit that Charles wanted to keep it completely private. Yeah, so private he leaked the fact that it had happened. Nobody even had to know that. But Charles wanted it to be known because Charles was getting his butt handed to him in the newspapers and on the morning shows here in America. So, because of that, he leaked it. He leaked it. But let's get into this article. It's two parts I want to touch on. The first part is about the Spencers, and the second part is about the final thoughts that this particular writer had about this whole situation. But let's get into the Spencer part. The title of it is The Spencer Thread Runs Through This Story. It says, this was Royal Control Optics. And once again, the timing tells its own story. Whenever Harry, Meghan, and the children appear close to the Spencer side of the family, the Windsor machine suddenly moves. We saw a version of this around the wedding. Diana's sisters reportedly offered Meghan the Spencer tiara, the same family heirloom Diana wore when she married Charles. Then the story shifted back towards the Queen's collection, and Meghan ultimately wore Queen Mary's diamond bandeau. The Spencer connection was quietly displaced by Windsor symbolism. Then came the passport drama. When Archie and Lily's documents were reportedly delayed by the UK government, Harry was said to have considered using the Spencer surname for the children. Suddenly, that would have made the optics unbearable. Diana's grandchildren carrying her family's name because the Windsor side was playing games for recognition. No, I don't think they were playing games for recognition. That wasn't the point. The point was they didn't want to give those babies those titles. Charles. Charles was doing this. And Harry checkmated him and said, okay, we'll all be Spencers instead of Sussexes. And all of a sudden, everything came through, and those babies became Prince and Princess. Yeah, and it goes on to say, and now here we are again. Reports suggest that the Sussexes are going to spend time with Diana's family at Althorpe, with Archie and Lilibeth probably visiting their grandmother's resting place. That would have been a powerful image. Harry, Meghan, and their children were being embraced by the Spencer family, while the Windsors looked cold, obstructive, and absent. Well, they look like they are. They are cold. They are lizard people. They have ice water running through their veins. These people are lizard people. Real people don't behave like these people. So I don't know. They look exactly like they are. Very, very cold. Look at Willie running around here spewing all his bile, talking about how much he hates his brother. And then in return, him and Kitty can't copy Harry and Meghan enough and embarrass themselves that way. I mean, it is crazy to watch. I, I'm telling you, they don't even act like real people. Who does that? Who does that? Who copies people with no shame and then act as if they are the ones who started everything? I mean, Kitty and Willie was out there at that polo match, absolutely doing everything the same way that Harry and Meghan did, and want people to believe somehow this is who they are in real life. I mean, it is the craziest thing. And then that press feeds into this nonsense. It is an ecosystem of bullshit. That's what it is. It is just a whole ecosystem, a bubble of bullshit. And they feed off of each other. That crazy press over there feeds off of that cold family. I digress. The final thoughts are, we are not fooled. This is the same man, King, who evicted Harry and Meghan from Frogmore Cottage, their only secure UK home, for which they repaid renovation costs. Unlike some of the working and non-working royals, the same monarchy that continues to house and protect disgraced relatives while Harry has to fight for basic security for his wife and children. The same institution that played hardball over accommodation when somehow won applause for finally allowing a private tea with its mixed race side of the family that it helped to push out. And Katie Nichols' latest framing carries the King's sentiment loud and clear. We are being asked to believe that Charles nobly wanted privacy when a palace source made sure everyone knew the meeting had happened. Exactly. Exactly. This is the same man. He is the same man. And Harry and Meghan know he is the same man. They are just playing chess, not checkers. They understand that they can't come at him like you would come at a normal person because he is the king of the United Kingdom. And Harry is still a citizen and a prince of said United Kingdom. And this squatty is saying that if anyone asked for this meeting to stay private, it was Harry and Meghan, because Harry has said it in an interview before. It says in an interview a few years ago, Harry made it clear any conversation to be had with his family needed to be done in private. I have no doubt the meeting with King Charles and the privacy surrounding it has all been done on Harry and Meghan's terms. Meghan has paid the British media dust. Yes, plate after plate after plate. Serve it up. Nothing but dust. And I love it. I'm loving it. It is like that letter that Meghan sent through the embassy to her father. Yes, we hadn't heard anything from that letter. Why? Because Meghan made sure it stayed private. And I am with this squatty. Anybody was stressing, if anybody was stressing privacy, it was Harry and Meghan. And this squatty said, breaking news, the real queen is in England with her husband, Prince Harry. Yes, the queen is here. The queen has arrived. Yes, I mean Camilla and the future queen, dumb as a rock, has nothing on Meghan. I mean, it's not another woman in that family that can set the hearts of the flying monkeys and the toadies and the minions and the derangers and all of the ugly old hags' hearts aflutter like Meghan. Yeah, so I agree with this squatty. The real queen is in England. She is, and her name is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. And this squatty said the way she managed to starve them on their own island, I love her. Yes, Meghan absolutely have all of those flying monkeys looking like skin over bone, like Kitty. Yes, they're all looking like Kitty because Meghan is starving them because she is serving up plate after plate after plate of nothing but dust. And this squatty said the fact that Meghan couldn't enjoy Britain freely because of that disgusting smear campaign and the lack of protection is a loss for everyone. Brands and creators she put on the radar loses. British media loses a lot by not having photos of her, and that's too dumb to understand. Where's the lie? They shoot themselves in the foot every time. And they absolutely did it this time. It is crazy to watch. When you sit back and watch how these people move, you say to yourself, why are they not walking into walls? They are just that dumb. You have someone like the Duchess of Sussex who can absolutely make a product move, who can bring eyeballs to a country and generate free advertisement into the millions. And she brought her children, and her husband is there as well. Can you imagine how much free advertisement they would have generated if they had just opened their arms up to Harry and Meghan, and how much fashion would have been sold for Lily, Archie, Harry, and Meghan? They would have made a mint. But these idiots, they rather just take the gun and shoot themselves in the foot and then pretend like that's normal. Crazy. And of course, all of the toadies, all of the ugly old hags, skanks, and derangers, and let's not forget the flying monkeys, are losing their SHIT because of this meeting between Prince Harry, Meghan, the children, King Charles III, and his horse. Yes, this squatty said You derangers are saying that Meghan would never bring Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet to the UK because she's scared they might do a DNA test. Now this is what this is what these deranged crazy people be talking about among themselves. They literally be talking about these things. I mean, they are sick, sick in the head. Tell me this is not sick. Talking about Megan would not bring the kids because she would be afraid that they would do a DNA test. And Lily, especially walking around with Diana's whole face, forgetting Archie was actually born there. But I digress. Well, they're not only in the UK, they are with the king. Oops. Yes, they are losing it. I saw them two dudes, at least one of the dudes, those Sitley twins. I mean, she was talking so crazy. I'm telling you, but we all know that she got on Beyonce's internet and made this whole big deal about her breaking up allegedly with a married man. And all I can say is if this is true, she needs to take Nene Leakes' advice. And Nene says you need to keep your legs closed to married men.
That is funny.
This squatty said, so I guess now when they continue to deny the existence of Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, they will be calling their king and queen a liar. Yeah. How are they going to square that circle? I just wonder. And it says the Rangers scrambling now looking for another conspiracy to attack Meghan with the well running dry. Yes, it is dry down there because every one of their conspiracies that they have, somehow they just get knocked down, don't they? Because in order for that conspiracy that the kids are dolls and models and hired actors, everybody would have to be liars. That would include the king, his horse, and that whole institution. I mean, this is a hard time to be a deranger, an ugly old hag, and a toady, and even a flying monkey, because they are bumping up against reality. That, yeah, all of their conspiracies absolutely was made up crap. And now they are busy at this moment tying themselves into knots in order to try to make it all make sense. If you are outside and you see a woman or a man walking down the street with their butt tied in a knot, that would be a deranger. And this squatty said, what in the F is Paula M going to do with herself? She said the kids do not exist and the titles never given. Now, if you really want to see someone in need of mental health services and a whole bunch of people who is equally as crazy as she is following her, that's Paula. Yes, and I mean a lot of people follow her. They do. And they listen to all of her batshit crazy ravings about Meghan. And this is one of them, that the kids don't exist, that they are actors, and on, like hot butter on popcorn. But yeah, what is she going to do with herself now that she has been caught out? She really has. She has been caught in all her lies. I wonder, will her batshit crazy followers call her out on it, or just wait for her to come up with another lie? Her and that bunch of crazy women she associate herself with. You know, one, Pie Face, Taz, and the rest of them. That, what's her name? She talks real funny with all them crooked teeth in her mouth. I forgot her name, but yeah, that bunch. I bet you they are pulling out their hair. Yes. And this squatty came up under that post to answer what Paula can do with herself. This squatty said, test the height of the nearest bridge, hopefully. Yes, measure that bridge from top to bottom. Y'all, I cannot with squatties. And it's not just the ugly old hags and the derangers and the toadies losing their minds, also the flying monkeys. And one of the biggest flying monkeys that is losing their SHIT, and that would be Thumbhead Tom Sykes. Yes, Thumbhead has lost his mind. Look what he wrote in his Substack. He said, Harry and Meghan just won. I want him to enlighten me about what in the heck did Harry and Meghan won, because I can't figure it out. What did they win? I mean, these people in their twisted minds think that this is some kind of war or competition. And that is the reason why Willie is walking around here breathing fire out of his nose about his father meeting with his own son, which is his brother. Because of these people running around here with this nonsense. I mean, this whole thing is crazy. And they act as if they don't know it's crazy. It is crazy. He said Charles will rue the day he gave into Harry and Meghan by granting them an audience this afternoon. I mean, he will rue the day. What kind of BS? What is that? I mean, rue the day that he actually talked to his own flesh and blood, and you as a flying monkey is out here threatening him in some form or fashion, talking about here, rue the day. Rue the day how? I mean, I want to know. I mean, this is how sick these people are. This is how deep the rot is when it comes to the British media. They really, really want all of them to hate one another. And really, he feeds right into that nonsense. He has a brother who loves him to no end. And he allowed all these people to poison his mind against him. He doesn't have enough sense to figure his way out of a wet paper bag. He just takes in everything that these people say, and these people are all about making money off of his pain, off of his anger, off of his family. What do he think is going to happen when Charlotte comes of age and Louis comes of age? They're going to protect George, and they are going to eat those two children alive. It is going to start up, because anytime you feed the machine keeps running, and you need to continue to feed the machine. Soon, Willie is going to be briefing on George. That's the way this whole thing goes. This is how crazy this is. He's going to be briefing on Charlotte. He is really going to be briefing on Louis. Can you imagine how demented this is? But people like Tom Thumbhead Sykes are the ones that keep this nonsense going. And someone needs to stand up and say, stop it. Stop it. Harry has been saying it forever. If Willie had any sense, he would join with his brother and stop this nonsense. It makes no sense. Zanny Sussex posted this from Tom Thumbhead Sykes and said, the only thing that makes me happy about Charles meeting Archie and Lily is seeing Willie and his minions have an absolute meltdown. This article is one long tantrum from Willie's mouthpiece, and I honestly couldn't be bothered reading it. Yes, who would want to read something like this? I mean, these people are crazy. They're crazy. And you have to be careful about the people you allow yourself to be around because you become them. And that is what has happened to Willie. He really thinks he is in some kind of competition or war with Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan is over there just living their lives, and Willie and Kitty are in constant competition, studying them like they are a course in university, copying them like they are a Xerox machine. I mean, it is the sickest thing. But these people are around him and they're sick, so he's sick. It is a sickness. And somebody needs to recognize that and try to make things better for the ones that are coming up behind them. Willie is not doing anything to make life better for his own children. Harry said it in an interview. Why would you not make it better for your children? It makes no sense. And Harry has made it better for his children. Not only his children, but for Willie's children also. He has made a roadmap for them to follow to freedom. Yeah, so Willie should be thanking Harry. He really should. Because he has made a way not only for his children, but for Willie's children as well. This squatty said, I can't stand Tom and those nasty wooden teeth. Yes, they are nasty looking, aren't they? They say allegedly it's from sucking on a pipe, and it's not tobacco in the pipe, if you know what I mean. Yes, but like I said, that's allegedly, and you didn't hear it from me. And this is what he said. The BBC is reporting live from Althorp. Ha 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 ha. Oh my God. This is beyond epic. It is. Because they follow where Harry and Meghan go and still have the audacity to say that they are irrelevant and standing out in front of a gate of a house that they hadn't stood out in front of since Diana lived there. Yeah, it makes no sense. This squatty is talking about all of these paparazzis that are camped out in front of the gate. This squatty said, Chris Ship on the aggressive behavior of the paparazzi who are camped outside Althorp's house in a bid to get the most sought after pictures of the Sussexes. This is the history not repeating itself Prince Harry feared most, and the reason for his continuous fight for appropriate security. Ravak, UK government, and the unroyals, do you get it now? Exactly. These people are camped out in front of the gate, trying to get a picture of anybody coming out. Now, they did get a picture of Prince Harry coming out this morning on his way to his events, but they want pictures of Archie, Lily, and Meghan. And they are doing everything that they can to get that picture. Now, do you think they're camped out or something? I bet they're all in the woods. These people know how much money these pictures will bring, and they'll do anything. That is the reason security is needed. I hope Megan and those babies are safely back in Montecito and these fools are just camped out there for nothing. That's my hope. And I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about Willie and Kitty. He played in a charity polo match and they absolutely was ridiculous. Their behavior was so staged, so planned, so performative. I don't even understand why these people keep doing this. and that they have no self-awareness, they have no shame, they don't even have the ability to be embarrassed. Me personally, I am embarrassed for them because they don't have the ability to be embarrassed. But yes, he was in a charity polo match. And like I said, it was pretty ridiculous. Not the play, but the play after. Yes, it was like one of Tyler Perry's stage plays out there on that polo field because Willie and Kitty was giving it all to the performance. And this squatty said hashtag Prince William and hashtag Kate Middleton's sad attempt to show affection to take the media's laser glaze off of Prince Harry and his Invictus Games event to no avail. They've never been a touchy-feely. They'll go back to despising each other once hashtag Prince Harry and Meghan leave the country. Where's the lie? Where is it? I mean, this right here is ridiculous, is it not? Holding hands, holding as they walk off. I'm telling you, these two are ridiculous. I cannot. I cackle when I saw that one. This squatty said it is unbelievable that Kate Middleton doesn't have one female friend to be around. Her sister has been missing in action and the press isn't saying anything. Where's the lie? We have not saw Pippa at a royal event or engagement in what, over a year and a half, maybe 2 years. She has gone missing. Pippa has absolutely became just a picture on the side of a milk carton because nobody sees her, nobody hears anything from her. Ever since Pippa said that Kate Middleton was not sick in the traditional way. Yeah, ever since those words slipped out of her mouth, we ain't saw Pippa. We have only saw her lush of a mother, the one who is always drunk in public, allegedly, and her father who is embarrassed of her lush mother, and her brother. And he had not been at an event. He went on that fake three-peat challenge. Yes, he was there for 5 minutes so he could take a picture along with Kitty and all her body doubles. Yes. So, yeah, we hadn't saw Pippa. Not at all. I guess Pippa is just not willing to lie no more. James, he doesn't really have a job or anything like that. He's not rich. I don't know if he married a rich woman or not. But I do know that that dog food is not, keeping up his lifestyle because you can't give that stuff away. And he has had so many failed businesses, and that book of his sold about 10 copies, and most of them was to his family. So yeah, he needs Kitty. Pippa doesn't need Kitty. She married into a billionaire family. Now, her father in law, the billionaire, he has a case there in France where he essayed a young girl. So, yeah, that has not been a good look for that family. And Pippa, she pretty much stuck because she didn't have any money. And Carol and Michael, they are being supported by William because we all know they went bankrupt and their debtors were nailing flyers on every post and tree out there in Buckleberry. Yes, and doing an impression of Rihanna saying, "Bitch, better have my money." So, yeah, all the Middletons, they don't have any money, so they have to stay put. It says the fact that she is sitting alone and also the kids aren't there, everything points to such a lonely lifestyle. Where's the lie? The kids are at boarding school. That's why they are not there. They think we don't know that those kids are boarding. Those kids are boarding. And I would say the only one that's not boarding is probably Lewis. Lewis is the only one not boarding. This squatty said Kate has found a new friend in Harriet. She's like a sister-in-law she had wished for. they said. Meanwhile, real life, this is Kate sat lonely all by herself, looking sad and drawn out at the same function Harriet was at. Unless Harriet has transitioned into a bodyguard right there. The lies these people tell. Exactly. Kay has no friends. She don't. She's a mean girl. Harriet, who is Peter Phillips' new wife, my advice to her would be to steer clear of the queen of the damned. Yes, the future queen, dumb as a rock. Harriet looks like a nice person, so yeah, you need to steer clear, Harriet. And as for Kitty, and she's also very, very much like that family. She doesn't want anybody around her because she doesn't want anybody to take up any of her space. She wants to be the one centered. Yes, that is the reason why she is willing to walk around with that scarf beside her head because she wants to be centered. She wants to be queen by any means necessary. I mean, the sickness, the rot is really, really deep for these people. They are. She is not a blood royal, but she has adapted all of the blood royals' worst tendencies. And she is as cold blooded as they are. She is a lizard person. She has ice water running through her veins. And this squatty said the Rangers and the Rotor Rats will be talking ish like William is a great husband. He just left to change his wet undies. We saw them all loved up behind the scenes a few minutes later. Oh, the Royals don't show public affection. Can you imagine how bad Willie is now and how bad he is going to be once he ascends to the throne? He is insufferable right now. Look how he treats his wife in public. Can you imagine how he treats her behind the scenes? And she is just right there because she has no choices. She has no money. Her family doesn't have money. She is stuck. She is the quintessential trad wife who is stuck with a husband in a loveless marriage. Yes, I just love it for Kitty because she is so nasty. Yes, and well, you get what you get. And this squatty said, funny how the shoe always land on the other foot. Look at her sitting there by herself. She could be laughing, giggling, kikiing with her sister-in-law. They could be the best of friends, but not that one, not that insecure, empty vessel. She's too busy trying to outdo someone that is out of her league. I remember how she treated Megan that day and how they made Megan bring little Archie out. Little Archie maybe was like 3 months old and they were so hungry. All of those wolves over there on Fleet Street was so hungry to get pictures of Archie that they pressured Megan to bring that baby out. And then when she brought the baby out, Kate sit there like a mean girl, didn't even talk to her. That was so horrible. And now the worm has turned. And I just love it for her. I do. And look at this. It says, I had a feeling that Kate yet again was copying Megan, but couldn't pinpoint it until now. April 2026, Megan on her and Prince Harry's fourth day of her Australian tour. July 2026, Kate attending polo match. P.S. Megan usually keeps her hair in the front. Have never seen Kate do that before because she studies Megan like she is a university course. And look at her sitting there. I mean, it is ridiculous, this woman. You know how low of a self esteem you have to copy someone else and try to steal their persona. You have to be at rock bottom in your self worth because you don't feel like nothing you do is good enough and everything that person does is worth stealing. And as you can see, it's all performative. She had to tap him on the back of his arm to remind him that the crisis manager had told them to hold hands. It says, William, this is the mark we're supposed to hold hands as instructed by the crisis manager. Yes, he had forgot, but she absolutely always is playing a role. And this squatty said Prince Harry and Meghan, how they must have those deep belly laughs watching all of this pathetic whale lameness. How they must laugh at all the petty charades and sudden need for everyday engagements from the leftovers. Even sadder, the few seconds the whales get at the end of a full TV segment about the Sussexes. That is so true. I watch so many little clips a day from those news organizations, and they always put about a 10 or 15-second little clip of Willie and Kitty, what they had been up to that day on the tail end of a segment about Harry and Meghan. Oh, how demoralizing it must be to be the future king and queen dumb as a rock, and you only rank 15 seconds at the end of your little brother and his wife's news story. Oh, ouch, that must really hurt. And this squatty said Willie and Kate, the desperados. Prince Harry and Meghan are in town. Let's pretend to kiss. Those two have obviously forgotten how to kiss each other. So effingly awkward. Yes, it was an awkward kiss. It was very, very cringe. And this squatty pretty much said Kate can copy a lot of things, but she can't copy Megan's neck because her neck looks like a 90-year-old. And look at Kate's neck. What's going on here? It says Kitty has a neck and a face of a 90-year-old woman. Geez. Squatties take no prisoners. This squatty said, yikes. Who who let her out accessorized with bones? Please don't try to compete with the toned arms of Duchess looking like a Halloween anatomy display. I'm telling you, her arms, Kitty, I don't know what's going on with Kitty, and it's not funny, that part of it. I make fun of Kitty, but yeah, I don't make fun of the fact that something is going on with her. When you see pictures like this, I don't find them funny. I find them sad. And this squatty posted a picture of Kitty and Willie trying to copy Meghan and Harry and pretty much said, you can't make it up. You can't. It's so sad. I mean, no shame. No shame whatsoever. I guess maybe that comes from royalty or being rich, that you have no shame. You're not self-aware at all. Maybe so. I think about that squatty that I talked about earlier, and she posted that whole thing about how Harry and Meghan must really sit back and laugh. I'm telling you, I bet Meghan and Harry just lay in their bed and just roll, looking at all of what Kitty and Willie is trying to do, copying them. It is hilarious. And they do it so lamely. You would take it as a insult if they weren't so bad at it. I bet Harry and Meghan just absolutely cackle about all this. But I digress. I want to talk about our favorite prince and how he has pulled victory out of the jaws of defeat because they did everything. They threw everything at him to defeat him, and Harry pulled out a win to put on the board. He did. And if you don't believe me, we're going to go through some things. Now, I'm not going to go through everything, due to time restraints. I don't want to hold y'all too long. Y'all know that's my whole motto. I'm not going to keep you long, but I will keep you entertained. So I don't want to keep you long. So I will put some in this podcast and some in my next podcast. I probably will do a podcast tomorrow where I'll put in even more of the stuff that Harry did, but I just wanted to touch on it because Harry absolutely put a W up on the board. He did. And this what he said, this Prince Harry's UK visit is glorious. That Harry even got a peck on the cheek from a beautiful little goat. The visit, the UK media, including the BBC, tried hard but failed to attach chaos is churning out many lifetime endearing moments, memories to cherish. Exactly. He put the W up on the board. That's one thing you can depend on Harry and Meghan to do. They are going to put the points on the board. Harry is always going to pull it out in a clutch, and he did so in magnificent fashion. And the squatty that reposted it said, when will the other so-called journalists learn kindness goes a long way? Where's the lie? Hashtag good King Harry. Yes, it goes a mighty long way. And look at this lady, this beautiful, beautiful lady, she had cancer in 2025 at Invictus 1 year ago. And now look at her in 2026. Yeah, she has her hair back. She is looking so healthy and beautiful. I love it. This squatty posted the picture and said, when Harry met Sally, not every day you get a hug from a prince. Last time I saw Prince Harry, I had just started chemo and I had no hair and looked like a blue nun. So it was nice to see him with some hair again. Prince Harry and Army vet Sally Orange, MBE. Yes, Harry is just great and she is great. I'm so glad she's feeling better and I'm so glad she is healthy now. She looks great. Beautiful. And Chris Barron Smith said, this is what it's all about. Prince Harry in a group photo with Scotty's founder, Nikki Scott, and 3-year-old River and Scotty's family at the Scotty Summer Festival. Yes, is this not the best picture? Oh my goodness. Put that W up on the board. Harry pulled it off, did he not? Do y'all remember this when this cute little girl was eating out of Harry's popcorn and Harry was not paying any attention? He was just chatting away with whoever was sitting beside him. And the little girl was just eating, eating, eating. And it was just so cute. And it was such a viral moment. I think we might have another one of those. Check this out.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to climb on me? Okay. Ready? Are you the girl or am I the girl? Okay.
This squatty said, ha ha ha, this video joins the popcorn stealer cute video file. Harry, what are you doing? Are you trying to climb on me? Okay. There's only one royal with that kind of aura, the People's Prince. Where's the lie? He is the People's Prince. And y'all know I love to end on a positive note, so I'm going to play this little clip from the BBC, and it is kind of a summary of what Harry did today. And I'm not going to play much of it because I don't want them to ding me, but I just have to let y'all see the goat yoga. Harry is so sweet and so natural and just quintessential Harry. Harry is Harry, and I'm telling you, that's something special. So, y'all, take a gander at this, and we'll talk on the other side.
Prince Harry has made his final public appearance on his trip to the UK. It came hours after he, his wife Meghan, and their children met the King and Queen for the first time since 2022. Well, today Harry was on his own at a children's event in Warwickshire. As our senior royal correspondent Danielle Ralph reports, Harry took part in a spot of goat yoga.
The grand finale of Prince Harry's visit took a much lighter turn.
We are essentially trying to channel the energy of the goat to feel at one with the spirit.
After a heavy-going week. Goat yoga, anyone? Harry found himself quite the draw for all those getting involved in the yoga sessions. The children here are supported by Scotty's Little Soldiers, helping military families where children have lost a parent.
2, 1.
Even a prince, used to Californian sunshine, appreciated a water fight in the baking British weather.
What is your name? You're right. He's my hero.
Isn't Harry terrific? And did he not pull it out? He did. Like I said earlier, he pulled victory out of the jaws of defeat. And I love it. I love it. Listen, I always enjoy my time that I spend with y'all, and I will be seeing you again very, very soon. If you want to support the channel, so many ways. Look in my bio. I think I got Cash App, Zelle, PayPal. Buy me a coffee. It's in the bio. And if you want to support the channel here on YouTube, just look below. You'll find a link for the channel member if you want to be a part of the reading club. And you'll also find a button for the super thanks. It should be right there under your TV screen. If you're on a computer or a laptop, it should be the 3 little dots. Click that and you'll find it right there. And if you don't want to fool with YouTube, head on over to patreon.com/theroyalread and I'll see you over there. You can join for free or you can support me over there. I have a reading club over there as well. And I'm posting over there all the time, and I am going to post a really, really cute video in just a few minutes. And if you have the hype button, you know what to do. Hype your girl up. Yes, hype it up because it helps so much. It puts the podcast out to new eyeballs, and that is the way we grow our tribe. And it's always important to grow. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.